Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I am here to do a tier list sort of video. I know that these are more popular these days, with like tier lists on like snacks and like games as well. But I want to do mine in a video format so I could actually explain the way I'm tiering things together. I think I've done one of these before, but with Sonic games, so that was pretty interesting before. But now we're gonna do Ratchet and Clank games because Ratchet and Clank has a lot of games to pick out and choose from. So I'm gonna go in order, obviously from release date order, and I have a second monitor over here to go and check. So obviously the first game, it's pretty good, but it does have some flaws. Obviously no strafing, but that is because it is the first game. The story is still pretty good, and yeah, it's mainly just like the controls that really like mess me up and stuff like that. But overall, it's still a pretty like solid first entry within the series. Going Commando, that is the second game, Ratchet and Clank 2. I'm going to put that in A because that is a slightly better game because they also added the armor upgrades as well. Also, the Clank sections were a little bit better. And then on top of that, strafing. Strafing would become a series staple from here on out because that would make combat and gunplay much more fun and a lot better overall. Also, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando was actually my first Ratchet and Clank game because I bought all three of the games at GameStop. And then what happened was Ratchet and Clank 1 just straight up didn't work. And then Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal also just didn't work. Like, it would like start up and then it just, I don't know what happened to it. But Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, that somehow worked. So there's that. Then of course Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, that is just S tier because that is just the most refined out of the Ratchet and Clank PS2 games, and it is still like a really solid game overall. I really like the story with Dr. Nefarious, he is definitely my favorite Ratchet and Clank villain, I would have to say. And, you know, obviously gameplay wise, it's just super refined and really, really fun to play through over and over again. I think I played the game like 2 to 3 times, probably more than that, honestly. But there's that. And then we got the spin-off Ratchet Deadlock. I'm going to put that in B just because it's a Ratchet game. It's literally called Ratchet Deadlock. It's a spin-off game with just Ratchet. And you do like the gladiator sort of tournaments thing throughout the entire game. And I am going to order these. It is not better than the first Ratchet and Clank game, but it is still pretty good overall. If you guys want to go and do this tier list, I did modify mine a little bit from the one that this one is. This one had like little like things after, like S all-time best or something like that. It also had a F tier, which I removed because I'm like, I think D's as far as I would go in terms of like Ratchet and Clank games, because like they're all like pretty good, but obviously like some are better than others. But I digress. So now we're going to get into the Future series. So Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction is pretty much the reason why I bought a PlayStation 3. Because when my friend was showing me Ratchet and Clank, he was like, yeah, there's one on the PS3. Damien, we do a podcast together, by the way, Travis and Damien podcast. But yeah, Damien showed me the Ratchet and Clank series, and I was like, Ratchet and Clank Future, this shit looks dope. This shit looks really, really, really good. And I was like, I kind of want to play it. So I bought a PS3 Slim, and I played it, and it is a little better than Going Commando. Obviously, though Going Commando and Tools of Destruction are both my first ever games on their respective consoles for the Ratchet and Clank series. Tools of Destruction is pretty good. That is definitely a handful of a title, but yeah, it is a really, really good Ratchet and Clank game, and I really do find myself enjoying it a lot. And you know, that nostalgia factor, the fact that, you know, Damien showed me the game, and yeah. And then we have Quest for Booty, which was a PSN title, and it is the second game within the Ratchet and Clank Future series. It's not C tier. It actually might be. I'm not sure. I'm definitely gonna move these around more the more that I think about them. But it's definitely not all that great. It's sort of like a filler title, so it's not. You know what? It actually might be C tier. But I do have a really good memory of actually Damien buying me a PSN card so I could actually purchase the Quest for Booty game and actually playing it. I believe it was on Christmas Day of that year that I got the PlayStation 3, so it was really, really cool. And you know, it is a much shorter Ratchet and Clank title, so but you know, it's not like a second game within the Ratchet and Clank Future series like Going Commando is. Like Going Commando is a full length Ratchet and Clank game. Going Commando is sort of like, it's like a sequel, sort of spin-off sort of thing. It's really, really weird. But then we get into A Crack in Time. And despite most of the game, you're not with Ratchet and Clank. You're like separate most of the time. So like you're doing like Ratchet sections, then Clank sections. But the story for this game is just so interesting about Ratchet's past and Clank's past as well, and you know what they want to do, and like do they, you know, go their separate ways, or do they stick together? You know, like the story for Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time was just so good. And on top of that, the gameplay, like the way that they enhanced the gameplay for just Ratchet by himself with the hover boots, that was really cool. And also the other Lombax that was in the game, I forget his name, but he was really cool, and I really liked his character. And then we get into the epilogue into the future series. I know that there's a bunch of games down here in between, but these are like spin-offs, and like one of them is the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game. I'll get to those. But this is the epilogue of the Ratchet and Clank future series Into the Nexus. I'm also going to put that in S tier, and I'm going to put it above Up Your Arsenal. Into the Nexus is pretty much everything Insomniac Games has learned from every single Ratchet and Clank game, and they were just like, all right, let's just make the best Ratchet and Clank game, and they kind of did. Story-wise, it's not as strong as A Crack in Time in my opinion, but the story is still, you know, entertaining and really good. Gameplay-wise, it's just perfect, honestly. It's just full Ratchet and Clank action, and it's just super duper fun, and I really like it. And yeah, like Into the Nexus, I did a full game review on it back then. If you want to see my younger self review Into the Nexus, you can. And I was back then when I had so much time that like there were so many games coming out that year. I think I also reviewed GTA 5 as well, and some other games along with Ratchet and Clank and Into the Nexus. It was honestly a crazy year when I was like just doing videos, like pumping them out. But yeah, Into the Nexus, I did a full review on it, so if you want to watch my younger self talk about that game and gush over it, you can. So I guess I'll talk about the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game here. The game's good. It is really good. Like gameplay wise, it's still like as polished as Into the Nexus, but it's just on the PlayStation 4. But it's not S tier level in my opinion. I'm actually gonna put it last in the A tier just because the story is like a reimagining of the first game, but it's also based on the movie, and the way that they did the movie was that like, yo, Ratchet and Clank were like best buds from the beginning. But that's not how the first game actually was. And the reason why Ratchet and Clank are so interesting and so dynamic is because at first they weren't pals. Like they had their differences and they really honestly hated each other. But the way that this game's story plays out is sort of like weird. Then they added some other things within the story that I'm not a big fan of. But gameplay wise, it's still like really solid. So that's why it's an A tier. That's why I'm not putting it in B, because B tier is sort of like the gameplay is sort of like weird and messy and stuff like that. But yeah, Size Matters, that's like a spin-off Ratchet and Clank game, I believe, that wasn't developed by Insomniac Games. So, and I played it on the PSP like back when I was first getting into Ratchet and Clank. But yeah, it's been a while since I played this one. I don't have a lot of good memories of it. Well, I don't have any bad memories of it either, but I just don't remember the game like at all. Honestly, all I know is that this is a PSP Ratchet and Clank game. It was also released on the PlayStation 2, but I heard that the PS2 port was like really buggy or something like that. So, but I'm putting it in D because like I don't really remember it like at all. I have no memories of it. Secret Agent Clank. This game I actually do have memories of because I did a video like back then on like my old YouTube channel, I think, and I did like a boss fight video of the Secret Agent Clank boss fight. It was really scuffed. It was like super like shaky cam sort of thing, but I did do it. I'm not sure if I should put it, you know what, I am going to put it in C tier. Just because I have like some fond memories of it. Also, you know, it's a Clank spin-off game, and that's really cool, honestly. Just like the concept of it, and it's like Secret Agent Clank as well, so it kind of like dives into the Ratchet and Clank like story sort of thing, because you know Secret Agent Clank was part of the I believe Up Your Arsenal, so that was pretty dope. Full Front Assault. This is like a tower defense Ratchet and Clank game. It's super weird, but this was during the time when Insomniac Games was testing out the waters with Ratchet and Clank along with All for One. So Full Frontal Assault I actually liked a lot because I really like tower defense games, and you know what, you put the Ratchet and Clank spin on it, it's not that bad. I never tried the online play, which I believe there's online play, and also there's like cross play with the Vita or something like that. This was released on the Vita, I think. I'm not sure. You know what? Let me go and do some research right now. Let me go and look that up. Was it released on the Vita? Yes, it was. It actually was. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault was actually on the PS Vita. Which reminds me, I kind of need to buy that, just for collector's purposes. But anyways, I mean, I had fun with it, so I'm gonna put it in C. It's not like total trash because like I remember it somewhat, kind of. The game's super short, so it's kind of hard for me to like pick out memories from that game in particular. So I'm going to put it all the way at the bottom. I wonder if I should keep Ratchet Deadlock here. I feel like I should put it in C tier, but like all the way at the bottom, and put Ratchet and Clank in B just because of like gameplay reasons alone. This game, I don't remember the story all that well, and like gameplay wise it worked, but like I don't remember any of it. So sorry, Ratchet Deadlock, just had to move that one. But last game here, all for one. I remember when this game was in beta and me and Damien were playing it, and then one of us double jumped and the game like crashed and we were just like laughing hysterically. But that was the only online bits that I got out of all for one, because when the game came out I didn't buy it. But if I did, I would imagine that me and Damien would have played it online as like 2-player, but you could play this game with 3 other people, like 4 players. So that's like pretty cool, like a 4-player Ratchet and Clank game, but it just didn't work out all that well. Like story wise, it was kind of weird. And then gameplay wise, it's like a much watered down Ratchet and Clank game. I'm definitely going to put that all the way at the bottom there. But yeah, I think this is how I want my Ratchet and Clank tier list to go. Like the way I view tier list is like, all right, which game would I rather play over all these? So like obviously I would want to play A Crack in Time because that's like my favorite Ratchet and Clank game of all time. Then Into the Nexus, then Up Your Arsenal. Like those are definitely up there as like S tier, like definitely top tier Ratchet and Clank games. A tier, I think this is fine as well. Maybe I should move the PS4 game, but I don't think so because like gameplay wise, like it's like super polished. Like there's like nothing wrong with it in terms of the gameplay. I think I'll keep the first Ratchet in B tier, then everything else down here I think makes sense for me anyways. Like obviously like this is all my opinion, and this is what I view as like my favorite Ratchet and Clank games and this and that. You know, maybe you are a fan of like All for One and you really love that game, but that's just your opinion. This is my opinion. This is all my stuff. So yeah, this is pretty much my tier list for the Ratchet and Clank games. I hope I explained most of my picks well as to why I put them there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys haven't already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every single Saturday. You could follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. I put updates on my future videos whenever I can. And yeah, if you guys wanted me to do more tier lists, I could try to do other tier lists like Mario. Don't request for Zelda because I am a really bad Zelda fan. I honestly not a huge fan of 3D Zelda, but that's another rant for another day. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Game on, gamers. I don't know what that outro was. Later.